Unlocking marital bliss.
Hey, Cyrus Road is my name, and you are tuned into Unlocking Marital Bliss. I want to spell this and you'll pronounce it for me. S-E-X. Yes, that's what I'm talking about this very afternoon. That's what we're going to deal with. And hey, don't turn that dial, okay? I don't want you to even move away from your sofa. Stay seated because we're dealing with stuff that you're so scared to talk about. You're so scared to tell your kids about. Now you're feeling embarrassed. Don't feel embarrassed. We're talking about real stuff that is going to help you. I'm saying tonight we're going to deal with exactly. Sex. Yes, that's what we're going to be dealing with. And to many of you, I challenge you, do not change the dial. And don't you leave that sofa. Don't you move away from where you're seated. Don't turn this station. You're tuned into the right place. And we're going to break this down with my guests tonight. Please stay tuned. I'll be back in a minute. Yes, you're tuned into Unlocking Marital Bliss with me, Cyrus Rod, and you're dealing with the number one show in the land and in the whole world, actually. Nobody talks about marriage like we do. Nobody talks about bliss like we do. A lot of people talk about marriage bliss and all that kind of stuff, and they're failures. They don't even know what they're doing. But we're talking what God has done in our lives and He's able to do in your life. No falling apart. And tonight we're dealing with S. Yes, you know the two letters. Now let's pronounce it together. Sex. That's what we're going to be talking about. And I have my usual suspects to break this down. I say, do not turn the dial. Mama, I know you're with your sons, your daughters. Don't turn the dial. And don't start any new conversation. I need your attention tonight, this very afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. And together with me, would you welcome my usual suspects? First and foremost, on my immediate left, you know this lady. On my immediate left, Winifred Zizinga.
The one and only.
The one and only. You've heard her. What else can I add? The one and only Winifred Zizinga. Okay, to my extreme left, I have Branson Fuma. Now, he's still laughing. He doesn't even know what to do with this lady in the middle. The one and only.
Well, I am honored to be on this show. I mean, with the celeb right here in the middle. Yes.
Amen. That is so good. You guys, today, I think I have the attention of everybody right now. Some of them are holding tight to their seats, thinking, this thing, we're going to face some turbulence. Yes, in case of any turbulence, just keep fasten your seatbelt. Don't move, okay? Because this is the flight that we are having in. In case of any turbulence, we are in control. Don't you move, okay? Stay in your seat because when you move, you can get hurt. So stay in your seat and we're going to we're going to show you the way forward. I'll start with Brian.
Yeah.
We're talking about sex.
Wow.
Yes, sex. Probably we have the attention right now of everybody. When you talk about sex, others are, we better run. I say it's a turbulent, we're in a plane, and so you better remain in your seat, okay? Now, Brian, when we talk about sex, I'll begin before we even define what sex is. We want to find out. Is this stuff good or these are bad manners?
Oh man. You know, today
sex. What am I talking about?
I beg to represent the men very well. I hope I do.
You better.
It is an awesome thing.
It's an awesome thing.
Yes.
Now you see when a man begins talking about sex and says it's an awesome. I don't know where Brian is going. Okay.
I don't want them to leave.
Okay. There you've heard him, an awesome thing.
Yes.
All right, Winnie. Sex. We're talking about sex. What's your intro?
Let's
talking
talk
about-
about sex, baby. Even the atheists fears to talk about sex.
Even the atheists won't talk about sex. They're scared.
Everyone is scared to talk about sex. It is taboo. It's not something that we talk about in the open. In the dark, without the lights, we can actually talk about it. Now, what is sex?
First of all, it's a taboo. Nobody talks about it. Thank God this is Unlocking Marital Bliss.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it.
Exactly. So we're going to just unlock the topic.
The mystery.
The mystery of sex.
Yes.
Sex is
What is sex?
two people coming together to enjoy life.
Okay, that is Winfred Zizinga. Two people coming together to enjoy life.
Man and woman.
Man and woman.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So sex has candidates.
Yes.
It must be
Man and woman.
and woman. Should they be married?
They actually should be married.
They must.
Must be married
Must be married
to enjoy it.
in order to enjoy it. Now, here we are. Winnie is helping us to start rolling.
Start rolling.
However, there are schools of thought which believe otherwise.
What's the otherwise?
You can have sex when you want it.
Why should you have it when you want it?
It's a need.
Because it's a need, eh?
Yes.
Like food.
Oh, one of my friends asked me, what happened to 3 times a day?
Thank
I mean,
God.
minimum.
Nah.
What happened to
Pastor
3
Cyrus.
times a day?
Thank God.
Are you on a drug? Are you on a medication?
Yeah, it's like a dose. Thank God it's the lady who was given
The intro.
the intro. Because then if I say as a man that sex is a need, many of the people are going to pause, especially the ladies. Say, wait a minute. If sex is a need, then money is a need to me. So, because as we continue, you'll find out that sometimes it's equated to the things I get in order to give you.
So the female looks at what she can get so she can give.
Give you.
Exactly.
It's dispensed.
That's why she called it dosing. It's
3
3
times,
times
how
a day.
many
a day.
times have I asked you for something and you've delivered on it? And how many times have I asked you of sex and you've delivered? So there has to be a balance.
Isn't this some kind of a transaction?
That's what marriage is all about these days.
No. No, these guys I'm hosting today, we're having fire inside these studios, wherever we are seated in this setting, just laid back at this beautiful place. Let me tell you this. Brian comes in and saying, all this stuff. That is Brian, okay? Today he's coming in and then you're coming with all this stuff for a year. It's a need to male and female come and they enjoy life and all this. Now, sex per se, you have also the school of thought that you can have it anytime you want. Because it's a need that needs
You are
to
of
be
age.
filled. Huh?
You're mature.
Is it some kind of a hunger that needs to be fed?
The hormones start to rise.
So when they start to rise,
The body
what
speaks
do I
Chinese.
do?
Then you fulfill, the body is asking for something which you are going to give it.
Brian,
Yes.
the body is asking for something.
It's actually speaking
So
Chinese. You need an interpreter for that.
Yes.
Now, well,
Interpret that. The body is asking. What is the body asking?
let's slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Our parents in their setting didn't have so much exposure. So when they brought us up, it was a taboo, like she said. You were beaten, you were threatened. In fact, for me, I remember when I was going to campus, my father specifically told me,
Yeah.
every girl is sick. She's HIV positive. And each time I thought about sex,
You saw HIV.
my father's voice was in my head. That girl is sick. You will surely die. But now fast forward
Now,
to this generation.
before you get to this generation,
Yes.
Why is sex considered a taboo?
Because
Let me ask you too. Do you believe sex was started by man?
no. It's God's initiative. It's God's plan. It's His institute.
So sex comes from God.
It comes from God.
So the origin of sex is God.
Yes. Now,
So God supports sex.
here's the
He
thing.
God believes in
absolutely
sex.
loves it.
First, slow down,
Why
Pastor.
is it considered a taboo?
Now, slow down a bit. This is why. Now, when our parents were bringing us up,
Yeah?
they told us it's bad manners.
Bad manners.
Bad
Bad
manners.
manners.
And this transitioned even through to marriage. You'll find couples who
Why
still
did the
think
parents call it bad manners?
because they didn't know the origin.
I love this.
They didn't know the origin. Who initiated sex in the first place? Who introduced it to us? Who
I think
spoke about it?
it's because we're probably not like animals. The animals have it in the open.
Exactly.
We have it behind closed doors, except
With
for
the
the
lights
perverse.
off, Pastor.
Okay, with the lights off.
Lights off.
I mean,
Why do you want to see what you want? What you go?
that's why I'm telling
You
you.
will
People
feel.
think God covers His eyes and say, whatever you're going to do it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll talk
You
later.
guys,
So
you guys
it,
need
it
help.
has transitioned even in couples' lives right now that
Yeah.
once they start to engage,
Yeah.
they will switch off the light. Leave alone married couples who are before their children probably, you can't hug me this way. Our son is watching. You
You
can't.
see, Brian, before
Yes.
you guys go ahead to the depth of it, if I'm going to do 10 episodes on this, I'll do it. But we're going to teach this nation.
Yes.
Before you go ahead, we'll hear at this taboo thing that I want us to break down. And now that even a parent, hey, don't hug me like that.
Yes.
Don't hug me like that.
Any sighting
Don't
of
kiss me
sex.
Don't kiss me.
because my children
Now,
are there.
I think this has come in because we all started in a manner
Yeah.
that we don't know the origin of sex.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We don't know the owner of sex.
Thank you.
We don't
purpose.
know the purpose of sex. And yet our bodies begin to have these things inside and we don't know how to explain them.
Because no one
Because
talks
we-
to us.
Huh?
No one talks to us.
No one talks to us.
And no, we don't
And
talk to our
today,
children.
the world over has grabbed this beautiful, awesome gift of sex, like you called it.
Gift.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, let's
We'll-
continue.
We'll come back there. I know.
Is it
We'll
it's
come
all
back
right?
there.
It's all right.
It's your right. We'll come back there. Now, this, I call it a gift because that's how God calls it. Because everything good and perfect is a gift.
That's right.
You get it? You see, God doesn't pay you money. He gives gifts because he's too.
then you need to consider why we've been told in the passing. Sometimes it's not even direct. It's
Yeah.
in the passing that God has suddenly covered his eyes. And he's
That's
saying,
what I'm coming to.
Get done with that quickly.
Get done with that quickly. I don't want to see that.
Yes.
Now,
True.
because we've believed that sex is evil. But this is how it came about. We left the people that don't know God to talk about sex,
True.
to even define sex. The people that don't know God come in and they talk about sex. And how do they talk about it? They bring the negative of sex, yet they think they're doing it so well. Take a look at music today. Musicians today. I mean, a girl will go on stage,
Half
skimpily
dressed.
dressed, half naked,
Because it sells.
because sex sells. But she doesn't even, the people out there don't realize how empty this girl is, how she has failed to even know who
That's
she
right.
is. She is hurting and she shows up in a swimming costume on stage to sing. And all the guys
She is
go like,
so sensual that she appeals to the depth of their being.
she
Their
comes
inner
in
core.
so sensual.
Absolutely.
She wants to appeal
To their inner core.
to their depth, to their sensuality. And so it's to deal with the body only. And then she even forgets who she is. When you guys say, woo, Woo! Ha ha! The negative is still in there. But then somebody on the other hand is saying, but sex shouldn't be like that. But now we are using it to sell things, to sell products, to even sing. Because when you don't have anything sensible to sing, talk sex and get the attention, make the money, even when it doesn't make sense. And because, before you come in, because the world has spoken negatively, the church has equally spoken negatively. They just say, don't, don't, don't. Now we only say don't, and we never tell them what to do. We only tell them don't, and we never tell them what to do. And so the negative has increased, that today we are here to talk about sex. We need to first let the minds know, hey, sex is not bad. It is the way it is presented that is bad. The world presents it negatively. This is why when it comes in and says you can have it anywhere, anyhow, as long as it's within you, whether you're married or not, this is why the parents end up saying they're bad manners, to keep us from having it. It's another way they thought they would protect us.
Let me say this, Pastor Cyrus. I think in the nutshell, what you're trying to bring out to me, or to Winnie, or to the people watching us right now, is the definition of sex. That's where the challenge is. Because for us, in our understanding, it's just the act of the two coming together. Yet, what you have just defined talks a lot about, it does with spiritual, emotional, every other thing that comes along.
Sex is all of that. My
Holistic.
Psychological part, my emotional, my spiritual. It takes all of me. It is not just body. No, it takes all of me.
Now, the thing
and
is,
this is what we don't understand.
we segment that part to be on its own.
We segment it because we've separated God and taken him away from sex.
That is why you cannot, today the church is so shy to talk about sex, or they don't know what to say about sex. You will come to a man of God and tell him, we're having trouble. And the man of God will read the whole Bible for you.
At that point, I don't want the whole Bible.
Scripture upon scripture upon scripture, why it's not good to deny your husband sex, why your body belongs to him, how it belongs to him. So it is that it's been segmented that way. So we leave the man of God's presence very empty. Nothing has been filled in us.
Well,
Because the man of God don't know what he's talking about.
I mean, what you're saying could be related in different aspects. For the woman, she could say, tell him. Or the man would be like, yeah, tell her the body is not hers.
Yes,
Come on.
and I mean, most
Nail
of
it
the time,
in.
because when my paternal aunt is talking to me, there's nothing she speaks to me about raising a home or building a home. A home, okay, is not only built on sex. I know they'll kill me for that one. But so many believe a home is built on sex. There is an African proverb that says if the bed does not shake, the home is not firm.
If the bed doesn't shake, the home is not firm.
Yes, so if the bed is
Now
not
you're
shaking,
talking.
Now listen to Brian
now you're
honestly.
talking.
Now you see, what we're having today, we will need to clean this up.
now if the bed is not shaking, that means there is no activity. There is actually no activity. So the home
Why did you get married?
to have
To
sex,
shake the bed?
to have sex. I mean, Pastor
Oh
Cyrus,
my God.
look at it this way.
Listen, when a man is getting
You can cook for yourself. You can clean your house. You can wash your clothes. You
Yes.
can.
it's better I say that.
Let
It's better
Brian
I
tell
say
me.
that. Let me break it down for you.
Yes.
I have been in church.
Why do you marry?
Now, I'm coming to that. I've
Yes.
been in church. I see this young lady.
Yes.
Oh, I've been there. Maybe working. Someone's not at church right now. They're probably
Yes.
working. And they've been through education through their parents that do not engage until you're married.
Yes.
You watch this girl, you're waiting, and then you go before the pastor and you say, I do. Now, in the mind of a man,
Yeah.
I have been thinking about helping myself fulfill all my fantasies that have been driving me crazy, looking at all the skimpy dresses you've been putting on, your feet are not touching. The way that you've been speaking to me on phone, everything has amounted to that act. So my honeymoon should be blissful. To set, you know, like how you start a car and race it a bit, and this engine is good. So the sex, the guy has been doing things for himself. I buy my own shirts.
Yeah.
I buy my own shoes. I visit people.
Yeah.
I buy my own food.
Yeah.
Now, when I marry and bring you in my house, and then you tell me we need to talk, what have we been doing the whole day? We will talk after.
After what?
After you've given me something.
You see, now this is where you guys have really lost it. This is where most men don't understand. Yes, you waited all this time. I've been waiting for that D-Day. I've been waiting for the D-Day. But you see, simply because you never understood what even sex is. So you end up entering into bed, getting married. You still don't understand what sex is all about. What sex is all about.
Now then I come in. I've been taught you are to give him sex. A man's mind is sex. The way
7
a man-
seconds.
Sex.
What do you mean 7 seconds?
I mean, by science, we've revealed that a man thinks about sex every 7 seconds.
That is nonsense. Look over here. 7 seconds. Oh my God. You mean I don't even have other things to do? You want to tell me Jesus was walking on planet Earth and poor boy couldn't do anything but think about sex every other? You see, this is something that is so negative.
Jesus was special.
No. I am human. I'm not thinking about sex every 7 seconds, I am not crazy. Guys, no, we got to take a break right now because this is really fire inside here. We're going to take a break and we'll be back in a minute.
Unlocking Marital Bliss. Unlocking Marital Bliss.
Oh yeah, we'll be back. You're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss, and tonight let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. I know many of you, I told your parents, don't move. Stay seated with your children, yeah. Yes, those teenagers have been stuck. You don't even know. Nobody has ever talked to them about sex. Tonight, we're dealing with the origins. We're dealing with the starting. And we're going to run these in episodes. And it's going to change your life. So I challenge you, get all those young people to tune in. And hey, be there with them. Because we're not talking about biarisiru. We're not talking about bad manners. We're talking about the gift that God created, the beauty of sex. So that once we remove the negativity, we shall be able to enjoy the positive part of sex. Right now, let's continue with Bran.
Well, if you Google, you'll probably find so many things in there.
You know when somebody tells you Google.
And again, I am saying that because the men spend a lot of time doing a lot of research from other people who have engaged in sexual activity. So the exposure is it's always here. So you see, that's why they say men are so, they can't multitask. Because they're thinking one thing and then they're thinking another. So when he has trouble with finances, then the sex drive will probably go down. But if everything is working perfectly well, the money is coming in, the things are moving on well, he will focus entirely on sex.
Now that is a twisted man. I think we really need help. We really need help. Now listen to the woman here.
Okay.
What does your singer tell you?
My singer tells me from the word go, you will serve the man. I mean, there's nothing else I am talked to about by my singer on what is supposed to be my bridal shower, except sex.
So
How do I, when he comes back home, prepare the water for him, take it to the bathroom?
these days we have showers. We even have hot showers. So
And
how
now-
are you going to prepare water and take it to the bathroom?
Pastor Cyrus,
You-
16 years is not a long time. When I got married, there were still showers. But we were told the same thing.
Okay, okay.
You prepare the water, even if it's in a shower. You take his towel there. You tell him, honey.
You're enticing him.
You entice him. You
Yes.
tell him, honey, it's time for bathing. If a man refuses to give you something, there is only one way you can get it. You give
Engage
it
them
to
in
him.
the act.
That's
get-
manipulation. Now we
I mean, but
really.
you fall for it.
That's witchcraft.
Oh my God, that is witchcraft. Now you see, most of what is being told out there about sex is negative. Because what when it's telling us here is absolute witchcraft. You saying, guys, whatever you're telling your daughters is witchcraft.
But it works.
But you see, that's what
And it
we-
works. But
Yeah.
you see, at the end of the day, you're not really bonding. You're not really
No,
getting
no.
to love one
You
another.
see- Pastor
Cyrus,
You're
now-
learning the
now-
art of manipulating him.
Then that takes us to what it is, bonding. It is not an act entirely just to fulfill and gratify self. Even if that is part of what sex does. Sex is very beautiful. For the cameras, people who are watching, sex is beautiful in its sanctity. In the
you
sanctity
see what
of
they're
marriage.
not telling you. The singers do their part on the women. The uncles do their part
On the
us.
guys.
They tell
What
us,
do they tell
So
you?
he goes with an expectation.
if you fulfill this woman, I'm talking about the act. If you give her very nicely,
Yes.
she'll never
Go anywhere
go
else.
anywhere. She'll never require any other thing. Because there you feel like you are, I'm a man. It's for us, sex has been like for dominating, like you show off.
Because
You
Pastor
present
Cyrus,
yourself.
Why
You-
would
you
you,
see
be-
how twisted
why
this
would you
whole
get?
thing
Why
is?
would you get if sex wasn't that important to a man? Why do you get angry when I tell you, honey, not tonight?
What? I mean, Brian, why do you even want? You guys, why do you get angry when a woman says no?
My friend,
Why do you get angry when a woman says
I
no?
paid
mean,
your-
don't,
I
don't she
paid-
have a right to say no?
I paid your bride price.
Uh-huh.
I've put a roof under your head. You've sent me so many lists through the week.
Lists?
Lists.
Uh-huh.
Not one. I mean, they could send you one list and then the next 10 minutes another one comes, an unupdated one.
I want some
So I have managed because my father told me come back with a polythene bag at home.
And you carry a polythene bag
I
every day.
don't carry one, I bring several with even food stuff that I say, please keep on bringing. You bring like 3 routes from the car. Going back inside the house, bring from the car, going back 3 routes. And then you tell me, love, you didn't buy for me lotion for my, I say, hold on. I drive out. I go bring the lotion, come back in. And he said, honey, help me in the back. I need like a small massage. I help you with your back.
Yes.
And then the time 9 p.m.
Eh,
we are in the bed.
yes.
And then my hand suddenly starts to move. And then you tell me,
Not tonight.
love, not tonight. Gosh.
No. Brian. Now, Brian goes, gosh. No. So were you trying to earn something?
I mean, that's
I
what
thought you
Even-
were being loving. That's what a loving man does.
Okay.
Expecting nothing in return.
Pastor Cyrus, ask a man watching what love means. When a woman says, I love you,
Sex.
what are you trying to say?
Now you see,
That's
when a
the
man
truth.
thinks, now this is why we have to teach you guys watching, because you see, if that stuff, that mentality really worked, marriages would have been better. But that mentality doesn't work. That's why marriages keep collapsing.
No.
Because a man does all that and even goes out and then comes back and then massages you. Then he says,
No, Pastor Cyrus.
I need something in return.
We don't say
If
we
Isaac
tap.
comes here and says,
Huh?
Winnie, show me that you love me, what is he asking of me?
Sex. That is twisted. Now, you see,
When I call him and he doesn't pick his calls, he'll say, we're not talking. So I say, honey, what is it? What have I done wrong? And he's all grumpy. And he's all
You are
grumpy.
not-
Because you are not giving him the sex. You've not shown him that you love him. I asked someone before we came to set,
yes.
what is the purpose of sex in marriage? And some people said, you know, when we fight and quarrel, make up sex. So there's sex is, Pastor Cyrus, don't give us that face. There is make up sex. There is reconciliation sex. There is honoring sex.
There's appreciation
There's
sex.
appreciation
By the way,
sex.
on that, just pause there a little bit. For us guys, if I bought you something, a phone, a nice thing,
Yes.
I don't say thank you.
Eh.
No.
Hey, what what
Let's
should
go.
she say?
We-
Now you see, you guys need help right now. You guys need help right now.
There is frustration sex. He's been sacked from his job.
Why are you saying?
Do you know what y'all guys are going through? It's called sex abuse.
Now you need to teach us better.
Now, appreciation sex.
Yes, make-up sex.
Frustration sex, makeup sex, all that
I've had a
is
bad day
junk.
sex.
I've had a bad day sex, junk. Do you know what you're doing?
Sex.
Welcome back home sex.
Yes.
That is nonsense.
And that
You
one,
see,
that-
but
that
take a
is-
look at this.
Welcome
If
back
that's
sex is not the main course.
Yeah, it's just
Starters.
starter.
now, you see,
Oh, listen, let me say this in Luganda. You translate. Omusajja bw'akoma weewaka.
eh,
Ayinza okuba avuddeyo yonna ng'alina b'atunuulidde weetaaga omutereeza omutwe.
Focus.
Hey, you can
Starters.
translate that.
when a man comes back home, he has had all these weird thoughts in his mind.
And seen people.
So seeing a lot of naked women out there. So correct his mind. How do you correct it?
By giving him sex.
That is nonsense.
And that's-
Let me tell
that's
you.
welcome back
if
home
the-
sex. It's
Welcome
not the
back
main-
home sex.
yes.
If that stuff worked, marriages would be in bliss. But you see what is happening? Most women end up becoming nothing. This is what happens. You as a woman, you just end up building an addict. You breed an
Sure.
addict in your husband. And when you build an addict in your husband, guess what? You begin hating even the sex down the road. So, because you're doing a duty, but you're not loving it. That's why your singers, your aunties could tell you, you can manipulate him. He don't understand. If you want a car, cry and say no. Tell him no to sex until he buys you a car. He will buy it.
You don't say no.
When you say no,
It is
you
in
don't
the
buy
act that you talk about the car.
Oh, in the act, that's when you say,
Sweetie, remember that car?
That's where we've lost our wallets. Right there.
remember about the car. And the poor man doesn't have any sense because he doesn't
Right
understand even what sex
Pastor
is.
said you
He
will-
only looks at the flesh part of it.
Right.
That moment he's vulnerable. Very, very vulnerable. At that moment.
You know, this whole thing about sex, we really need to understand the core. I appreciate the way you guys have been trained with sex and the parting shot sex, the welcome home sex, the buy me a car sex. You know, now you're using sex like a drug. Don't leave me sex. That's a drug. You get it? It's not something that is walking in the way God has planned it and created it to be. It's a drug. And what do drugs do? They will give you a high. Up to when you're the most high. And the only problem is they can't keep you there. So in order for you to stay there, you have to keep taking it. You have to keep taking it. Now, when sex becomes a drug, you abuse it. You get it? Because sex, by creation, can make you feel good. It's a good gift. It makes people feel good. But then when you take it to the level that now I feel bad, what do? I want to have sex so I may feel good. That is abuse. And that's what most men do. He comes home with all these weird thoughts and then expects you to correct him. That is a lie. You're giving the woman much more than what God allows her to do. It's your responsibility as a man that as you walk around, because now, you know what the Bible says? If you look at a woman and you lust after her in your heart, you've already committed adultery. Now, so here you are. You blame yourself. Rather, you say, there are many women I've looked at all over, everywhere. Now I come back home. The only way you have to correct me by giving me
That
sex.
is part of the peace.
That a woman gives a man.
Yes.
That is very wrong.
See, I think for me,
That is very wrong. You come back home, you've committed adultery everywhere, and then you want the woman to put you in place.
Yes.
It's your responsibility as a man to watch your thoughts, control your thoughts, and harness them, and bring everything together and say, look over here, I have a beautiful wife, and I don't go with everyone out there. I am committed. That's one thing about sex. But if you believe that she has to correct me, then you will keep messing up.
I think for me, when you say you love me, for a man
Yes.
coming from a woman, I want the act. If the woman tells me she loves me, I want the act. Show me what type of love you're talking about. So
And
we
what
don't
do you
understand. We don't understand the two, sex and love. What's the difference?
To you, as long as a woman says to a man, I love you, then what you understand is she wants me in bed,
She has to show me
or she has to show you.
that she does love me.
Winnie, when a man says, so, look at what, when a man comes and tells you, I love you, what do you understand?
When a man
Money.
tells me that, when a man tells me, that's Brian's thought. When a man tells me that I love you, I'm seeing the future with this person. Regardless of whether there's sex, no money, that is me. I'm looking at Barry.
What about the other woman
The other
that you're
woman,
representing on set
the
here?
other woman, when a man says, I love you, first of all, you're going to measure the love monetarily.
That's what Brian said.
Exactly.
Money.
You're going to think, okay, is he worth the salt? Does he?
How much money does he have?
What kind of car did he park up there?
You need to grab that one.
I mean, how do I look in a Benz? How do I look like in a Benz?
Oh my God.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. What can I get from him? What am I getting from him? What kind of name am I going to get? Is it some such a good name, or is it Rod?
Yeah.
Yes.
That rhymes well.
That is
That
good.
rhymes
So
well, eh?
for a woman, that she's thinking so many things. Some go as far as this guy's head is too big. Our kids may have big heads. So you're thinking too many things for a woman. The detail, it goes into the detail. The man is thinking one thing, sex. The woman is thinking the detail. Shall we make a home together? Does he have the money? That is why you find that some of us in life have refused to marry a certain somebody because he did not have anything at that time. And now you're sitting down and thinking, oh, I wish I'd gone with Cyrus. He drives a Benz right now. I wish. How I wish.
How
So,
I wish.
yes, how I wish. Because you judged him
When he had nothing.
when he had nothing. So when he says, I love you, man,
What does it bring on the table?
what is it coming
What is he
with?
bringing on the table?
Yes,
I mean,
that's
Now
the
we,
detail.
we need to correct this.
Before you go there,
Hey.
take an example. You've cancelled so many couples.
Many.
Some of
World
the
over.
some of the women,
Yes.
I'm now coming attacking them.
Yes.
They will come and say, I have given the man everything. When he touches me, I am there. But when I just ask him for just hair for the salon,
Money for the salon.
just money for the salon, he's nowhere to be seen. You see, so they have attached also, maybe because of we don't understand
Absolutely.
the whole thing.
So when
Of
you
love and sex.
when
Love
I
and
Because if actually we're going to understand sex, we need to define and separate the two.
True.
Love. This is what everybody needs to know.
Uh-huh.
When you meet somebody and you say, oh, Brian meets Angie, and you say, I love you. When you say I love you, this is what God thinks you mean. And this is what you must mean.
Okay.
So you align up with God.
Okay.
When you say I love you, this is what you're saying. I have made a conscious decision to lay down my life, to seek your good at my expense.
Oh, you can say that slowly. Because for me, as a
I
man,
have, when I say I love you, it means I have made a conscious decision to seek what is good for you at my expense.
first pause there, Pastor Simon.
Before you,
I need to ask a
why
question.
do you then why do you keep telling me, why aren't you seeking my good? The day I say no, why do you ask me why am
The
not
reason
seeking
I
your good?
ask you why I'm not seeking your good is because I've not understood how to love you. You see, when I love you, I don't ask, why aren't you seeking my good? When I love you, it's about what I am spending on you to ensure you get to the good. It will cost me everything, including my life, to make sure you get to the good. Now, in the end, I cannot, the good, if my good is sex, I don't understand love. Sex is good, but it's not at the forefront. To bring it at the forefront is to miss what it means to love somebody. I love you will involve my heart, my emotions, my psychic, my entire being, and my body comes last.
Now, that's why I
You
wanted
get
to
me?
ask a question.
Uh-huh.
When you said it's 6 for good of the other, right? So my question as a man, why is it then that you deprive me of my right when I am laying down my life?
Which
for your
right?
sake?
Which right do you have?
I mean, I have just laid down my life for you.
Now you see, I seek your good within the parameters of God,
Okay.
not outside. Because good is not determined by what you want. Good is determined by what God says.
Okay.
What God calls good is what is good, not what you call good, but what God calls good. You get it? And now, when you get to that point and you say, I'm denying you your right, the woman is denying you your right, you need to understand sex is not a right.
Hey.
Say that again.
Sex is not a right. Dudes, sex is not a right.
So tonight,
I have just
It's a gift.
I have just laid down my life.
You can sleep, it's not a right.
Wait before you go to sleep. Wait before you go to sleep. I've just laid down my life for you. I have
Yes.
sought the best. Now,
Yes.
remember, a man is thinking about monetary terms.
Yes.
I've spent everything I've got on you.
You
And
know,
now you're telling me it's not my right. It's
you know
a
this,
gift.
this is where the error is. When a man doesn't understand, you don't engage in sex until you understand God. He created the sex. He's the origin of it. He's not, sex does not only originate from God, he owns it.
you know, so many of us take God out of that equation.
When we take God out of the equation, this is the chaos we see world over. You see girls treating sex like anything. They treat it like trash because they remove God, the owner. He owns the copyright of sex. So if God owns the copyright of sex, you can't claim it's your right. It is his. And you gotta handle it his way. He's the owner. He owns it.
Okay, I understand that part. How about when the children come? Why is it that every time you try to get this gift,
The gift
The
is
lady
Don't
is-
get a gift.
the gift is given.
okay,
It's given.
they don't give
So
me the
all-
gift. Because every time they give, I want the gift. The children are in play.
Do you know
I
what?
need
Let
to-
me show you something.
Okay.
Do you know why most of the men will end up saying, I want the gift, I want the gift? Because we have failed to express love. We don't know what love is. We confuse it with sex. Sex is that desire to come into total union with another person.
That's right.
A desire to come into total union with another person. Remember, God created animals, male and female, and he brought them out. When he created the human being, he brought out one body, split it, and then told them, come and join together. So there's that urge to merge. You get me? Not to just feel good and go, but the urge to merge. Now that is the owner. God owns sex. You get me? So if God owns sex, what do we do next? We are stewards. Because God is the owner, we are stewards. You look at the young men, all of them watching us today, and young women. At puberty, the body is changing. They don't understand what's happening to them. Their strongest drive after preserving life and food is sex. You
That's
get
right,
me?
That's right.
But you need to understand it. When puberty begins, the urges you feel as a young man or woman, you should not act on them. They are an awakening of the giver of life. He says unto you that, hey, you feel it, but it's not time to put it in practice. Discover I own it. Discover I own the very feelings I put on the inside of you. I own those hormones. I own it. They are not yours. I own it. So what do? If he's the owner, what am I? I'm a steward. So what does a steward do? A steward does what the owner wants. That means I can't go and have sex anyhow. As a young man, I can't go. I need to now bring and seek what God wants because he's the owner, subject myself and say, no matter what I feel, I will not take anybody's daughter to have sex at this time. I'm a student, I'm young, and until I marry her.
Can I ask something for someone watching?
Yes.
How would you help me
Yeah.
as a young man?
Yeah.
I've been watching bad material,
Yes.
Pornography.
Yes.
for my entire life. My parents can't even talk about it. Okay?
No. Yeah.
And my body is speaking Chinese.
Yes.
Fortunately enough, at this moment, I have an interpreter who can interpret the Chinese in my body.
In your body.
And I'm hearing what you're saying,
Yes.
but the process is too long. How do you help me? I am in this state. The food has been served. It's just waiting for me to put in my.
Nobody served it.
Nobody
served it. What happens is that you do not understand the origin and the owner and love. You should not have sex outside love. Okay? That's why sex, because you come into total union, an urge to come into union with another person. Before you can do it, you speak it publicly to one another through exchanging vows. You get it? When that happens, it will help you and lead you into a union. By the time you go to the bed, this one-on-one, psychologically, mentally, through the heart, has already been achieved. You get it? Yes. So the other one just comes in to complement what you have agreed upon. Now, pornography and all that, we're still looking for something to make me feel good. Why is it we always feel bad? Emptiness. We miss God. And how can we really come to the place where we start feeling good? When we come to a place of belonging to somebody. Do you know how it feels when you belong to somebody? Oh, Lord, everybody wants to belong. And now they end up saying, I need a girlfriend so I may belong. No, you need God. God gives you unconditional love. Then you are able to belong. In this unconditional love, you feel that you belong. And that alone is able to cover you up and remove the emptiness, makes you complete. You belong. A sense of belonging makes you feel good. A sense of belonging. When you look to pornography, you're looking for something to make you excited, but not make you excited for a moment, but it doesn't cure the emptiness that comes from within. Oh my God, this is just too much. We cannot exhaust everything within these few minutes. So we're going to have to add another episode. I want you to keep watching Unlocking Marital Bliss. We're going to teach you, young men, don't be scared. Let me teach you. We're here to teach you about sex so you have it in the best way. Young ladies, you don't have to be twisted and become an object and make yourself an object. You musicians, you sell yourself like a sex object. You're better than that. We want to teach you what sex is. Please stay tuned in to Unlocking Marital Bliss as we talk about sex, the origin, the owner, the purpose, how to enjoy it. You will not remain the same. See you next time, and always remember, marriage is easy, ignorance is hard.
Unlocking Marital Bliss.